Welcome back for another book talk. Today it's Fiction Friday, so let's talk about an award-winning fiction novel. It's Sing Unburied Sing, the book from Jesmyn Ward. This book was released in 2017, and the New York Times said it was one of the 10 best books of the year. It was also a National Book Award winner. I read the book in 2020 as the second book I'd read by Jesmyn Ward. It is considered a suspense coming of age literary fiction novel. The main characters are Jojo, Leonie, River, who they call Pop, Philomene, who they call Ma'am, and there's a huge supporting cast of characters. The book really stands out to me because from the very first page, Jojo is involved in trying to kill an animal in order to impress and get the respect of his male family members, and that seemed exactly like a scene from my life, from my childhood. I grew up, before I came to Texas, I was born in Louisiana and lived out in the country there, and so these characters living in Mississippi very much feel a lot of what I know from Louisiana and growing up in the South like that. I've got to say, Jesmyn Ward once again delivers a very realistic story with characters dealing with real problems. Leonie is another narrator. She is a character who got pregnant before she really wanted to. She was pregnant at a young age, and now she's got these kids. She's got a man who really isn't there. Leonie, so she's been a mentally absent mother for her kids, and part of the fascinating aspect of the story is getting multiple point of view characters, where you get to hear from Jojo for what it's like being a child of an mentally absent mother and a physically absent father. The father is a white man, Michael, and he's from a racist family, which is so difficult to deal with. His parents do not like the situation at all. So you got Leonie and Michael, who really don't make for good parents. They're drug addicts. It's a sad story in which the children really are better off with their grandparent, even though their grandmother is basically bedridden. But something else that's really fascinating about the story is there's this supernatural, spiritual element in which some of the characters seem to have some sort of connection to the spiritual realm and are able to see and interact with ghosts. And so this story that comes across as being very realistic also has this supernatural layer to it, which provides a great amount of psychological symbolism about what the characters have been through and how they deal with core aspects of their identity, with death and loss, and the whole story of the grandfather and what he went through in the past with Parchman Prison when he was young there. And I think it is an exciting kind of twist that comes about in the story. I read this book as part of a book club, and when we had our discussion, I did mention I was able to predict that kind of twist surprise element, but most of the other people in the book club said they did not. So I guess it wasn't as obvious as I thought it was. Maybe I just lucked out in picking up on the foreshadowing and the clues that Jesmyn Ward delivered so expertly into the story. There are some fun scenes, though I will say there are also some slow scenes where, in a William Faulkner-esque way, and you should know Jesmyn Ward vocally said that she was inspired by William Faulkner. There are some scenes that, if you want fast action novels, may feel like they drag on for you, because Jesmyn Ward explores this realistic world so well, takes you on these little trips with the characters. One of my favorite fun scenes is when they go to deal with the attorney, and he is clearly a kind of crooked, good old boy, backwoods attorney. He is not at all what you would see from a serious big city attorney, as he's inviting them to stay in his house, and he's feeding them, and he's very personal, but I believe also very much an obviously corrupt person in the justice system, as he would prefer to do what he feels he should do to help people rather than adhere to a code of legal ethics, probably. I highly recommend the book. I hope you enjoyed today's book talk. Join me next week for another Fiction Friday. Peace.